Good morning, welcome to CATEX TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Friday, June 5th, 2015. If you want to follow us on Twitter, go to CATEX TV. Last night, the U.S. government indicated that supposedly Chinese-based computer hackers have broken into the U.S. government personnel office and stolen the online records of 4 million U.S. government workers. U.S. Senator Susan Collins said the attack amounted to a foreign power seeking information on U.S. government employees who have security clearances for access to sensitive information. China responded earlier today. A foreign ministry spokesman said at a regular news briefing that Beijing hopes that the U.S. would, quote, be less suspicious and stop making any unverified allegations, but show more trust and participate more in cooperation. This from a government that was identified by the Virginia-based cybersecurity organization Mandiant as being the originator of countless attacks on U.S. government computers, all being traced to an office building in Shanghai run by the Chinese military. As if that wasn't enough, on May 25, 2011, that the Defense Ministry spokesperson for the Chinese government, a gentleman named Gang Yangsheng, spoke of developing China's online army. British tourists are among about 130 climbers left stranded on a mountain peak in Borneo in Malaysia after a 6.0 earthquake struck the region. This would be Mount Kinabalu. Thus far, about 200 climbers and 40 local guides have been ordered to stay on top of the mountain for fear of descending because of falling stones and rock falls. Aon Benfield's catastrophe model development team came out with their May catastrophe report. Actually, it was quite interesting. It revealed that powerful thunderstorms caused major flooding across the U.S. states of Texas and Oklahoma in the month, killing 41 people and damaging more than 5,000 homes. It's the wettest May on record for both states. Meanwhile, there were 412 preliminary reports of tornadoes in the United States, which would be the highest monthly number of American tornadoes since April of 2011. Total aggregated severe thunderstorm and flood economic losses for May are expected to be about $3 billion U.S., while insured losses are going to be about $1 billion. It also noted that significant flooding in May in China killed 81 people. It said that flash floods in Australia caused about $280 million U.S. in damage. An intense heat wave in India killed at least 2,500 people. Here's an interesting story. The president of the Philippines, Benigno Aquino, concluded a state visit to Tokyo, and he said that the two governments have agreed to start talks on allowing the Japanese military to use Philippine naval bases as part of a refueling and supply effort in order to extend the reach of the Japanese military to monitor what the Chinese are doing in their construction of the artificial islands at the Spratly Islands. The two countries, of course, were at war during World War II. Aquino on Wednesday sparked some ire in Beijing when he compared the country with Nazi Germany in the run-up to World War II. He said if somebody had stopped Adolf Hitler at that point in time, would we have avoided World War II? Of course, that got the Chinese very upset. At least 31 people have been killed in an explosion at a busy market in the northeastern Nigerian city of Yola. It happened at about 7:40 p.m. last night. There's been no immediate claim of responsibility, but fingers will likely be pointed at Boko Haram. More than 30,000 people began protesting in Munich, Germany yesterday against a G7 summit meeting that's starting tonight in the southern German state of Bavaria. Angela Merkel, who holds the rotating presidency of the G7, will host a two-day meeting with the leaders of Britain, Canada, France, Italy, Japan, and the U.S., who will be present. The summit is going to be held at Elmau Castle, a luxury resort near the Austrian border, and it's expected to cover international trade, the push for a UN climate accord, public health, poverty reduction, and global security crises. I would also suspect there'll be a little bit of a discussion about Greece. Here's an interesting story as well. Japan's government is announcing that the country's elevators might soon get a surprising new feature, toilets. According to the Kyodo news agency, the Japanese government called meetings with the country's elevator industry to discuss the idea after last weekend's 8.1 earthquake struck south of Tokyo that caused about 19,000 elevators in the city to stop working. People were trapped in elevators, some for more than 70 minutes. This is a question that has always been on my mind. What do people do when you're trapped in an elevator for several hours? Well, Japan has 620,000 elevators, 150,000 of them are in Tokyo, and the country is earthquake prone. One solution that the Japanese government is going to consider is mandating that elevators have toilets. Very interesting. If you've ever been to Japan, you know that they take their toilets very seriously. All sorts of musical accompaniment are included with the toilets that the user of the toilet can select. I don't know how that will work in the elevator. That's the news for today. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. Have a good weekend, and we'll see you Monday.